Hi, it's Sharon with another video. Okay, so today what I'm going to talk about right now for this video is the Chrisleys. I have totally found out kind of legality what happened in their case. Okay, so it goes back about 10 years. And it started with them, the evidence against them is overwhelming. And oftentimes, federal prosecutors are they do not go to court unless they know it's a for sure thing to win. The federal prosecutor and also the state prosecutors who were both prosecuting the Chrisleys on tax evasion, fraud, money laundering. No, they didn't get money laundering. They threw that out. Fraud, pretty much fraud. And what it had to do, a lot of it had to do with intention too. Because they actually used evidence from the show where they would say they'd spend $300,000 on clothes, or they would send. So there's thought that they're going to use that in appeals, saying it was scripted, because reality shows are all scripted, just FYI. So what they did is they borrowed money. They borrowed like $400,000, and then they would set up, and they do it with one of their corporations. And then they would either switch that corporation to their mother or another relative and then claim bankruptcy and never pay a dime and get the money in full. For like 10 years, they've been defrauding. And they have an email which is so damaging to Todd Chrisley. Todd Chrisley to his accountant saying, literally saying, I don't want to pay that much taxes. You're going to have to lie about my income. He says it in an email. Intent has been proven already with him. Again, they had these. It's not uncommon for their reality show has been on the air for 10 years, and it is not uncommon to get corporations to have write-offs because they're all independent contractors. Actors are independent contractors. So they're responsible for all their own taxes, employer tax and all that stuff, local tax, federal tax, everything, the FICO, all that stuff. They really would borrow a massive amount of money. And they've even showed documents where to borrow the loan from the bank to get the loan they wanted, the documents were falsified. They were proven to be incorrect. And then they would have borrowed from their corporation, which would be whatever it's called, and then claim bankruptcy and not have to pay a dime to the bank. Scamming the bank out of money, scamming the federal government, and then they're showing they're all wealthy. They spend $300,000 on clothes. They drive all these cars. They do. So a big part of the federal prosecution's case is intent. It really is and also you can, when you're doing the federal case, your accountant, sometimes you can throw liability to your accountant. Accountant threw them under the bus. And he would have went to jail. So he showed proof that there's emails for Todd. And that's probably why. And what they do in a federal prosecution case, it's all about numbers. Like, what's your intent? You get a number on it. Have you done this before? You get a number on it. Are you super wealthy and you're defrauding? You get a higher number. And they kept moving it up. And Todd Chrisley's number was something like 37. And that's pretty high. And a lot of people don't know the federal guidelines for prosecution. Most people don't. And and here's the thing, there's no parole on federal cases. So he's got to do 85% of those 12 years. So where he's going to have to be successful to not do as much is appeals. And appeals they can say certain things. They can say it's a script. It's scripted. So we said that, and you use that, and then they're going to look at all the federal prosecutors and the local prosecutors. They're going to look at every warrant with a fine-tooth comb. Is there any mistakes? Is the wrong code in there? Is this there? They're going to have to win on technicalities because the case against them was overwhelming. And both the federal and the local or state agreed completely on the number, which they both have to come up with a number. Like it's kind of like it's almost like a table. And okay, you did this, you bumped up another level. You bumped up another level. 37. They start at 1, okay? She got 32, something like 32. And don't quote me on those numbers, I'm not 100%. I know that the reason Todd got everything thrown at him, because Todd, and I really like the show, but how dumb are you to send somebody an email and say, lie about my income? Even Trump doesn't do that. Trump is facing the same thing they are, and many politicians have, but they don't sit there and brag on TV about how much money they have, because the prosecution used some of the reality show as, hey, they claim bankruptcy, they claim they're broke, but yet they're claiming they spent $300,000. They did this. They found a $40,000 Lamborghini, which isn't even that expensive for a Lamborghini, but and they claim bankruptcy. So they would borrow money, have a corporation like an LLC or a corp, and then they would file bankruptcy. They borrow money from the company, and then also they falsified loan. So all their data it's fraud. It's a huge, huge, huge fraud case, and they will do 85% of their time. Now, during appeals, I'm guaranteed it's such a high profile case. They wouldn't, the federal prosecutors don't go to, federal prosecutors don't go unless they think they're going to win. Seriously, they don't. They don't, because what's the sense? And they were offered a deal. They didn't go with it. That's what rumor has it, allegedly. So, because I was like, wow, 12 years, that sounds, but if you really look at all he did, and you can go, a lot of it's public record, and you can go and see what all this information is. A lot of the tax codes and stuff like that, most, it's like almost a formula. And the judge could have thrown the book at them a little bit more if the judge did more work. But the judge seemed a little, hey, maybe this is enough. I don't want to have to do this and do this and do this, because every level you go up, it's really harder to prove. So, and they could have actually got them for laundering money, because if you think about this, they were borrowing money, falsifying documents to get the money borrowed, and then, there's definitely laundering money here, but they threw that out, and that's a harder one to prove. So people are saying, wow, how many years? 85% of the time. So hopefully in appeals they can get they can really they can find something. But do you really think the prosecutors and don't you think they had teams look over this stuff over and over again before they gave them, they served them? And while he was in court, he's being sued from somebody else, and they couldn't serve him because they couldn't find him. And the person, when he went for a sentencing hearing, they served him. So the Chrisleys are not doing too good, but the Chrisleys, were not that smart. What made you think you could get away with that? Sending an email saying lie about my income. Lie about my income. There was all kinds of stories. People were saying, oh, it's Todd's lover. No, that's just all alleged and everything like that. People just put that and sell a little bit or get people to look at. It's basically a boring tax case. And they were very sloppy for many, many years. And, they were going after them because they kept claiming bankruptcy on organization. You imagine this. Somebody's got to pay for that money. You borrow $300,000, and I'm just putting a number out there, and then you claim bankruptcy. What do you think that money goes to? That's stealing. And I think they're entertaining people, but they're definitely criminals, unfortunately. So, yeah, so I was a little sad about that, because I actually do like this show, and the mother the mother, supposedly, a lot of people are saying that the mother got tricked in by the prosecutor, but I don't know. She didn't lie, is what she did. Because they used her to transfer her name with the companies. So, and she has cancer, so she's in our prayers, and all their kids are in our prayers. Okay, so that's what I found out today, and I wanted to definitely share it. So, have a great day. Talk soon. Bye.